You should know by now that Tower Defense Simulator is gearing up to do a Five Nights at Freddy type event in the game for Halloween. If you don't know that, that might be my fault since I've only made one video about it, and it was over this image here. Well, that was 3 days ago, and since then they have released multiple images and a video about it. So I wanted to be sure to cover this stuff just to make sure y'all were in the know and aware of what the TDS devs have in store for us here in the next couple of days, I would guess. So there hasn't been any kind of announcement of when this event or game mode or season is going to start. They did start the leaks last Wednesday. That was October 26th. And just a few minutes ago, they released the most recent leak. But let me go ahead and back up and start with the images that I haven't covered yet. Just to reference the original image, you can see that they are different skins from the game in the FNAF style. I don't know if it's significant that they're torn up and their faces are falling off and they're just kind of sitting there. Like, why does this say recording here? Is this supposed to mean that the TDS towers were kidnapped and this is like a ransom video? Also, they might want to recharge this camera. It's about to die. About to die? Oh no, too soon? Moving on, we have the second image here, and it looks like something terrible has happened. They forgot to recharge the battery on the camera. Hello, it's gonna die. But the big difference here is that instead of having TDS towers in the FNAF style, we now have some of the TDS enemies. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. I am familiar with the artwork and the concept. And I know that these are like the evil animatronic heads that they have. So this is like a bear, there's a wolf, there's a rabbit, and a chicken. But the bodies here are bodies that I've seen in the zombies in the TDS game before. This is just a regular zombie with a little party hat on. That's kind of cute, actually. I like how the pizza says TDS on it. That's pretty cool. But we've got the skeleton body that we've seen before in some of the Halloween events, and we've got just some of the kind of corrupted zombie bodies that we've seen. So this really seems to be the TDS that we know and love with a little extra spice in the form of the FNAF universe. I do want to point out here that it does say Happy Death Day. That is something that people call Halloween. So that's what makes me think that whatever's coming up is gonna take place on October 31st, Halloween. I will go back because I don't think I said this before, but with this image here with the TDS towers, it says fun and games for all. Yeah, really looks like they're having fun. And that brings us to the third leak, which they released yesterday at 1 a.m. And the tweet does say, monkey, and it has this picture here of a monkey sitting on a shelf. I really can't tell what that's supposed to be. It reminds me of the monkeys that I used to throw in the Call of Duty zombie game. But is this going to be an enemy in the upcoming event or whatever's happening? And it might be an event. I will get into that in a second. Or is this just like a piece of the new map, which I'm also going to talk about in a second? I can't really tell. It would be cool if this was like some kind of ability that we could use to like distract the zombies. It's kind of like if this new map is set up similar to the Ducky Doom event where all the enemies come from all different directions. And then we could like trigger this monkey somehow and it would draw the zombies to it instead of them just charging for our base. That would be nice. It would also be really nice if they would charge the camera. Come on, guys. And they did release this image on a Friday, so I guess you could say Funny Monkey Friday. And now moving on to an image they released a little later in the day. This is the first one that made me think, oh, wait, we're actually going to get an entirely new map with enemies that are variations of enemies that are already in the game. So this tweet says, heard you liked balloons. And then it's this guy just kind of floating around. Now, see, originally when I was looking at this right here, I thought, okay, they're just going to do something like they did with the 4th of July or the time that they put all the hats on the zombies. And it's just going to be basically the regular game, but the enemies are going to look like they're Five Nights at Freddy's enemies. I guess that could apply here to this guy if he was in hardcore mode, because that's the only mode that has zombies that float in it. But this isn't a zombie. This is a kid without a face, and he's just kind of floating by the camera. So yeah, this is the one that makes me think, oh, we're actually going to get a map, and this is the map that we're seeing in the background. These are not just decorations for this image. We're actually playing on some kind of like arcade map or party map. Going back to these other images, is This is obviously all taking place in the same area. You can see this little spinny board with the lights on it here. You can see it again here. I'm not sure what this rip is supposed to be. So let me just guess about that real quick because I haven't even thought about it yet. I think it's going to be taking place in some kind of like shutdown arcade, which I think is where Five Nights at Freddy's takes place. And I think it's based on the animatronics that were at Chuck E. Cheese's. Like when I was a kid, they had these really creepy animatronic Chuck E. Cheese characters that would dance and sing. And yeah, they were scary because they were really big. So I think we're in a place like that, and there's going to be this kind of rip through the wall where the enemies are going to be coming through. And so I think this is confirmation that we are going to be getting some kind of event. And I have been saying that I didn't think this would be an event, and the devs have stated in the past that they're trying to move away from doing limited time seasonal events. But this looks to me like a special map with special enemies, which brings me to the final enemy. This is going to be the special boss for this level, all right? This is the actual scary Five Nights at Freddy boss right here. He's looking right at you, and all it says on the screen is run. Also notice here that this is the first image that is in black and white instead of color. Oh yeah, now I'm kind of remembering that like the Five Nights at Freddy's, like what makes it kind of scary is that you're like looking at these animatronics through like security cameras. Let me know down in the comments if that's right, because yeah, I don't know, I've never played the game, but I think that's why every single image says record on it. And this tweet just says it's playtime. So I'm pretty sure this is the final leak. We are about 2 days away from Halloween. I think that either later tonight or tomorrow they're going to actually announce that this is starting either tomorrow night or probably on Halloween, which is Monday. And that brings me to the final leaked content that the devs released yesterday. It was actually last night right before I went to bed. It just says get geared up, trailer drops soon, and then it has this really short 8-second video. I don't think this is the trailer. I think the trailer actually might come out tonight, and along with that they'll announce when this event is going to start. So let's check that out real quick. So that brings me to the end of the video. Now, there is one thing that somebody said in my live stream today. By the way, thanks to everybody for showing up in the live stream. It was a lot of fun playing TDS with y'all. But somebody in the live stream said that they didn't think this was going to be an event. Because remember, the devs have said multiple times that they are trying to move away from events. And they seem to be adding content to the game that is long-term content, reworking polluted wastelands, reworking badlands. It's possible that even though this thing, whatever it is, happens on Halloween, it may be a permanent part of the game. And it makes sense that they would have been working on a new map with some new enemies that I guess we could get like new skins from, but there's not going to be an event tower. So after hearing that possibility, I am leaning towards that being what's going to happen, because it just doesn't make sense to me that they would have put all this work into having new enemies and a new map and new skins and all of this stuff if it was only going to be around for Halloween. Like I mean, I guess Halloween events do typically last like a month, so it could be something that's in the game for a month and we would get a special game pass for it, and you would collect tickets or something from the map, and that's what would enable you to buy these skins. But it could also be something that's in the game for a much longer period of time, and that would be something that would attract new players, maybe players that have never played TDS but like FNAF, to the game, and they could play that you know, whenever they want. It wouldn't have to be around Halloween. So let me know down in the comments what you think about that. Do you think this is going to be some type of limited event that only lasts for a week or two or a month, or is this going to be something that's in the game permanently? Hold up, cat gang, that was supposed to be the end of this video, but right as I was finishing my editing, the TDS devs dropped this brand new leak, which does make this the official announcement that the event is starting tomorrow. Now, we don't know exactly when tomorrow. It could be morning, afternoon, or night, but I just want to throw this in here before I publish this video so you would have the most up-to-date info. As you can see, the tweet says night shift starts tomorrow, and I'm wondering, is this going to be set up in a similar way as the solar eclipse event with a multi-night theme? But I will have to make that video tomorrow. Just know that this is officially happening sometime within the next 36 hours. Now, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash that like button with your forehead, hit the subscribe button with your big toe, and turn on notifications however you can so you don't miss any of my amazing upcoming content. And I will see y'all next time. Take care, be safe, and never forget what I always have said. Peace.